Kingdom garlic capsules and bitters. Boy, anything could be in to. I fear your Kingdom Herbal Center for Hollow. South America chose a Kingdom ginseng power capsules. And it's for sexual weakness, waist pain, mental stress. And in the Kenya, my pen engine memano. And one Kingdom ginseng power capsule. Ebeko ye. Etiko baby. Atona bubobi. Jack. Kingdom ginseng power capsule. Oh say yeah. South America tremendous capsules. So what my infections be accept be mad mo nyina and I feel so menstrual disorders and I feel so bad odor nyina tremendous capsules e boapa nyina if your Kingdom Herbal Center for Hope and I make a chew and into the internal copy between Hope do to party and patch friend numbers with 0597 298 855 0597 298 855 and episode is 055 9761 144 0559 761 144. Now near your Kingdom Herbal Center for Indian Command. And then I'm a boss to your Kingdom Garlic capsule. And I feel so the bitters and all. And I feel so your Kingdom ginseng power capsule. And I feel so tremendous capsules in here. Ubenyebo pharmacy be and a chemical and herbal shop will be a one sabe chemical. You know so you pay to do to the Kingdom Herbal Center where you can see drag lane. And sabe can be horror. Kingdom, see no challenger. Yes, I see the air. Maybe I need to make catch up sense. I see the Sefate says so to be one to be an hour. A chapadia pa as some more back on no. I didn't know so pay as a papa to Opa Sasia say water problem be any home. Opa Sasia to Sasia water. Woda. What to Musa yes, he is safe. Nina is Sap Mary Estate and Land. I didn't know Sap Mary Estate and Land. SARPMARY. Yes, Sap Mary Estate and Land. Almost a main country, someone says in a Guhon. Assassin, I be a war. I didn't know what to assassin. I quite to say, Nassassi could just someone make here. As I said, me could just seek out no more do. Dabi. Sap Mary Estate and Land. Also, main country, of a flexible payment plan amount. Again, she said that on one to me that to assassin. And into the Jack man how where the crowd be on friend numbers na me baba now when yes Sap Mary encoding come on aka chane say me nsem sikani emom no ye plan ma me na dachi bi ento akosa bosumi mi ense o mani media ana bosumi nsia na afia o mani media na me de eye asasini tua ni nyina me tua ni nyina ma Sap Mary Estate and Land is okay bra obeye ni nyina ma they are one of the most credible estate companies in Ghana. And it is Sassini go Castle, boom, a teacher man take to cool. A honeymoon and Sassy go home. 80 and Tem and 9 and Temna compare a year assassini be with a year Sap Mary. A beboy yepa. I'm office no Amasama danger. I'm obeying police station no Ankasa. And in and Tem now no more couldn't come on. My number is 0243 009451. 0243 009451 and after so was 055 000 1500 055 000 1500 and I said 0265 963 380 0265 963 380 now near yes Sap Mary Estate and Land Indian Comoy Oton Sassino na wupe baby a be Sassino hon krata no obetime any ye na fe wankasa won sase a watopo de da no ope ho eye krata se ne be hye ne ye kama ma wa ne nyina won ye clips collateral management from coding come on. They are good when it comes to land document perfection. I didn't hear an interview. Now no one couldn't come on. Now no one can say what your mon kind where your Kessben TV so Kessben radio so and I said Kessben FM so 92.9 and on more catch us Eclipse collateral management when it comes to land document perfection. Omo ya di in our bano. Yene so ye pay ye collateral hun komo edi. Collateral ya de kesi ya ne da yeti so. I don't know. For home now on Eclipse collateral management phone coding come on. Number boy ye pa. No system men can just say you have the power to transform your future. I didn't know that in put me as a son. I need to say credit brokerage and I say prime brokerage. You know, oh young way you. Now dear Feni, I don't want to be yes runkuni. Almost the other game changers in turning property documents into profits. I don't know. Wow, a year Japadian crata da hono. If I chop fabra, bet me that year Juma man house when your profit. I was so dear Didi Wate. ATN and tell when the Eclipse collateral management including come on. Eclipse collateral management where a dental Medimosis Hospital no. Dental barrier hono mo no mo. Medimosis Hospital no. In Chimua. And as I said West African SHS one one from on 054 383 2466 054 383 2466. Now when you Eclipse collateral management for ND and command number boy ye pa. Hospital bakwe dimunie the friend of Kingdom Medical Center. Sa hospital am bon hu de rachire we na watwi na menam ho we call hospital me de mani nkosu akwhwe anya sa metia na me kan da ne da nyina keke me wo de mami a makwakoso ahwe then be ya me ba me hu si na me kan afa a great Kingdom Medical Center e wo eye ekropon e ben Kingdom Estate Jack e hospital edimu hospital e fata se unyina se ye nyina ye ko ho unia hospital I would do one more to say yes, Era Hospital. I wouldn't name more to say yes. I hope pa neatness here dear. What you want is a hospital no home. Hospital papa Great Kingdom Medical Center. So we'll pay a general medical services and as a specialist OPD. We'll pay internal medicine specialist gynecologist and physical fertility services. Then my person general surgery and after my person plastic and reconstructive surgery. It been a BB on the liposuction etamita. You see I'm first canon corner I'm taking you Dubai ni da Kenya. Oko a Great Kingdom Medical Center. Bibia I fine. Surgeons no papa. That's na urologist wo ho na fesu ENT. They can hear nose and throat services. Eye clinic wo ho. And fesu my dental and dental x-ray services. As I say you call a Great Kingdom Medical Center. Ebe boy pa. X-ray and fesu scan ECG. And fesu fully equipped laboratory services. And fesu inpatient admission ward in our our Great Kingdom Medical Center. Hospital papa penny hospital edimu guarantee now from 1059 372 2619 059 372 2619 and I'm for 0530 848502 0530 848502. Now near painful in common hospital honor. Great Kingdom Medical Hospital. I say quality health care with excellence care. And I want Sabeka. But I say 51 minutes into AS 7 a.m. And the man signs soon for Kojo Preko Dankwah. But I was say so do a video no ato Kessben 92.9 FM. Kessben 92.9 FM. You won't cry. You been a telecell head office no it was circle here Asida Twin Towers a honum and your war. Also antime can be ultimate on www.kessbenonline.com. Oko honoma na wa clicking 92.9 FM once ebe kame ewo honum. And then on Facebook a Kessben TV and after say Kessben 92.9 and also once ebe kame wo honum on DSTV channel is channel 364 and then on Go TV channel 121. Enti the entwaso na fe yendi enkomo ene ye bedi nkomo ene Monday the 18th in the month of May and enkomo no edoso pa Alex Afenyo Maakye do sahene edi nkomo bi MP for futu wedi nkomo bi regarding the arrest of ya yenua bema abro enye na ensemwa ura Alex Afenyo Maakye na dey ato ho ama judge no wo Adenta Court 9 no ano tini pa ebedi ni nyina ho nkomo ewo fie hanam sa so ene ebedi nkomo afa ECG ho na fe so IMF ene eho a yate eho afi ho ene ho sunsuanso a ebeba ene de wo mu nyina ebedi ni nyina ho nkomo. But of course ECG is one of the top things that we really want to talk about, the issue of privatization of the collection side of ECG no, and also ebedi ho enkomo ye pa na afia hwe what the labor organized labor for eka and afia so experts don be ka che na afia so yehu de eko ene de benyina na Monday ne de ba menko na me ne Dr. Esiama ending nkomo na health segment on Kessben matching na afia babaka da ke bia ye the best also dog bibi aboko de.
Oh, senior, about the other Bibia Boko, but oh, side was where. Oh,
Bibia, kama, Bibia, fine, pa, yes, you gusua and Kasa, and my Bibia, fine. Na, weekend need many Ehunyama pa, many Ehunyama, and Yama mi hu ya no, na Biankasa, mi wo hobby, and Tino, with ye, Menichia, and na mensa, esu ewumubi. Na, dear TNA. Na memenda we de mia na metimu bi na bobe 10-11 na amanfo pe bibie di tilapia mu wi bi ene de di ho nkomo a na ba ku bi meten hu ya aso mu ose pa enye se me so mu dwade but it look as if some for nye aduane ndi proper aduane ndi around that time someone omo de omo ensa ka omo no kakra has to do with the indomies that they eat around that time 11, 12, 1 and a mixture no mo de ye no so no ano hye pa am obenya kosua wom obenya sausage wom obenya bibia oil bibia chese bibia bi wom ye se akeka nyina fra sardine ni de aka nyina na ne boys akeka wia because come wom watutu bi nti no bende they say onya bibi no this table ne yefunu no you okay na me hwedi na me se dwada de me share Dr. Esiama no mebisa ne se sade me show so no so hu bi de but the hu so so no aya na etesen sade no
senior me that's for your observation and I think that you move be brave you pa and eduane bi wo ho am say anajon kwan ye hu se yata ton no and most of the time no so in take few minutes na ben and in mama ye hu se pen bebre no sa eniane bi sa no to say instant noodles no bebre no it's part of your condition ye nya nansen which has to do with which has to do with abnormal growth of cells, which has to do with tumor, cancer, senior, oh dear, ye biasa, so young for you need to form new shade. Gone are the days, some years back, now you can't take cancer. But take cancer, now it be a papa in the movie, now mammy be a or cotton average for some years, be coffee, all those drinks, nick caffeine, and now waba back Belgian home and you a cancer one system. But as time evolved, no dynamics necessary. I say as early as 20 years, not when you cancer. And if you show say it's mostly because of your lifestyle, your DNA yedi. Your DNA I can once a man noodles, instant ones I can plus a new medical can when you no take it time. It be all class 6 hours and so not digested. Then so be I want say time now with the dear no. Obeti me a train for 1 hour and so akoda. To me. You end up piling a fee in the body. Also once I nya but my fee no so body no wow man digestive be mau na was so akoda. Enti obesity kesiye bebre ekoso no efri ho. Cancer, tumor efri ho. Liver problem efri ho. Kidney problem efri ho. Cardiovascular conditions if you are 35 years old I dear chronic stroke because of such lifestyle and you cry no and you cry prepare no imagine a more cholesterol a more sugar a more processor, but chance and breaking in the body. So these are some of the harmful things. So we doctors and health workers, we don't advise it. Then so idea you who say for year pa.
Now we are straightforward. I'm on for responding, and I'm so happy. It is going hand and one bit home come on holding numbers. And this one says, ask him eating pineapple after supper at night by 9 p.m. before going to bed, good or bad?
Yes, pineapple a lot of acid. Until you're careful, so history of stomach ulcer, I bet trigger when your pains, and pineapple so at some point a boy with digestion. But how about a woman is a sugar baby? Pineapple a very, very glycemic index now. The was run be. Until constant eating at that time and also so which may contribute to the hike in your glucose level, giving the fear of sugar system. Until pineapple but in dinner and term that's why we can eat early. Now you eat pineapple, then 2-3 hours time we can take our rest. I bet we have one and the next day we can use the washroom proper.
Okay. And yeah, that's a and then kakra and our holiday chassis a day, Yashasi, the do chassis the dynamo, Abian football home, I didn't share your first share a year week in Asia, Nafi Yantwaso.
Yes, senior, me say now what is maybe more the 2-3 days I will really love it because acquire conundrum a big problem but say yes the stress physiology. Stress physiology. Obi baby say what is stress and the physiology in the say into your bedroom way to call the umbrella by my economy discussing then you can't stress the part of stress with definition be brave. Then so and education I no any baby you per se your community. You per se your stress in the sense of the human body.
Okay.
One, yeah, stress anything a bit distort the body's homeostasis. The pacho see a homeostasis the air can say a state our body out of disease. Not just a sugar level normal. Akumano ebo normal, u kidney wa hoden, u liver, bibia pepe we are free of disease, onyare. Adwene mu you correct, bibia state of mind, bibia ye kama. Until you are in a perfect homeostatic state. But so bibi ebe say sa perfect state na and your friend stress. Until you see your acute stress and your chronic stress. So stress at some point in here because a mind a very, very active. A boy it build on our confidence to do more. But a be chronica and a deal how about San pay your queen say a be away a trotro driver. Walk across traffic bimu. Osha a betcha into one maneuver way around it. A stress no finding yourself. But because you're able to maneuver your way, your body will respond in a way a ma dream for fruit ultimately a BT. But after that I was saying hormones echo back to normal state. So that only constant stress anymore. I know a problem, a constant in terms of stress now, a problem, and how they say your behavior response or factors and the physiological factors. Myself, say stress say their exams now cultural and our deadlines with Jim and now say was meeting microphobia now what away chila. Oh body respond in a way. A dream your special hormone there. Your friend the cortisol hormone. Then so your hypothalamus, which is a part of the brain, was a coordinated with the stress. Into stress no quadrine now catch your hypothalamus and say senior the part your body in your body respond to a DB town until you be my and yes and then the now hypothalamus is why the master regulator was starting to produce the friend corticotropic releasing hormone, a hormone is the corticotropic releasing hormone. This special hormone also and echo organ I friend the pituitary gland anterior part or echo catch and say, bra, a patro age man about it also release the hormone your friend adrenocorticotropic hormone. A patro sa hormone ways also ebeko your kidney mo na your kidney no. Let's hope your organ be your friend adrenal gland. Sa organ no and sa ADCY CH hormone ya yaboni din ebeko ho ekowa no akwa stimulating wako Kenya no na saa organ ye adrenal gland no e produce hormone na your friend cortisol hormone. And cortisol hormone and your friend stress hormone. It is you go through stress your body no respond by producing this special hormone. No, it near meet up to deadline. It near meet up to fear and flight. Or we be about say make us see a baby amity and I say abu bi na ebahana misra senior when you better no na meto nchen e was studio house gidi o hu de be ya rabet na nchen because of that fear and flight nti menya ahoden fufuro bi e de escape sa danger no eno na ye ka say a special hormone yankopon de amaye but oye na ejima wi a was so free body ni nti na watchi ye be hwe say free body ni mu a nti san so be na de ba.
Okay.
Now organ ben kwa na wose one money free body ni mu. How are we going to also manage your stress no na nkwa nkofa or how amre.
Doc, you better say any stress sociology on here shasi na watchi, and of course stress is one of the key things that including myself I'm a hey. You was stress in it, and we need to find a way of working things out because I say pressure will come to the amount for bed 2-3 now amount for sorry now ya kwesi mwane asaba be 9 p.m. You could tell I mean the kind of pressure mami fo mu if you see pressure wo mo so de nkwala ko school o masan be sian kwa adwuma o masan ko tenasa ye adwuma bo be 5-6 o masan to car gidi ko fan kwada so do ma be fia be dware o mo aduane so watena say oh mami stress in the door so
yeah
stress in the door so yebeba hospital na mum no kire kwan ahefa ene wo
yo over the other room see for see you were all over Ghana and to some extent some parts of Europe. What Ghana had here Oje kire kwan wo Cape Coast Green Hill opposite Addison Square Garden Aguna Odobenso branch wo Kumasi you were Ejoso Kwamo Jache Junction and Accra has the wa Denta SDA Junction. Me pacho branches ni na ejuma from Monday to Saturday exactly 7 a.m. on the dot na ya start ejuma to 5 p.m. Treatment plan here holistic senior diet canon ya betu ya boa say baseline investigation. Ehu me bi asimaton wo woni pedianum say we say you dey nkomo about stress we say ya komayare liver problem kidney problem organ bia woni pedianum simato de what the bedan see for see I bet you boy see ahwehwa manaka I say obra boy your own kwanti wodo ubenya livoton na livoton so be Kenya obra boy ama when who say the function of metabolizing hormone drugs any boy circulation na eboa manipedian esi eyififi ni pedian aye ni ye dia omodia na pe livoton abamo bia from 12 years and above we are pregnant woman na lactating mother you no bedi nkomo yewie na unsaka livoton ya kire odi bedi die ni kwan se wudi na ama treatment plan so aye holistic it mesel baby I will be a number na friend 24/7 na place you order for livoton ya de bebra asomdwe mu baby a o number of friend ba jo so 050 0040331 is scroll with screen also but Mrs. Subium 050 and now says 050 0040328. Your Netherlands number no so are very active international you friend plus 316 879 85584. Wadaro mami see international number Subium plus 316 879 85584. C for C liver specialist hospital. Ya so bre boy your own quantity kai national so na Kenya and with livoton. Na kai say ya giendo need the treatment plans need. Sina de be ka say once treated forever treated. Senior anopeso with that celebrate yankopon enkaye nyina ho no ndome otina so.
Amen. Me so me dance pa Dr. Siamene no din come up from a C4C liver specialist hospital out there health segment no ebreye e wo ye Kessben match so within e da mansan so for Kojo Preko Dankwah 6 minutes past over 8 and ye twa jumedie so now yen sha se na fi ndi enkomo ne yen hwe de ekwe so the exit from the IMF the enije anafi so ehun enkomodie na aba. The issue has to do with say ye fee baby na yako baby yes ye free BB extended credit facility arrangement CCI no ye call a BBR friend of policy coordination instrument PCI komodi ene ba be DCC and ye beti ase as to really what is happening when it comes to IMF and maybe a tremu ye nyina nim de nti e ma ye call IMF and in any case every year country bi obekwa IMF bi ana say wo hia support na ahokyere ebi na aba ewo baabi enu nti no hia se okwakobo besia wo hia se onwo bebam no ma be hyehye niema wo hia se ombeba no mo de sika bi eba be hye economy nim na etumi aboa. Ghana experienced that particular regime no emekofa nsembebe na eba. Prior to that, we were told by the former finance minister that we were not ever going to do anything or had to do anything with IMF. Now, so no, and seminal anko years, so we had to go back to IMF. Now, say yedi hunko bom no me sikebi na yedi share economy nem and niema etumi ejina. Na no more any woman yetiti moa na the next government to so take you over. Almost at the enyema atutu from actresses and she said wo honom na say this one ye this so back to back and who come on and never be this is here now they tell us that you exited from the IMF na emomuno there's something there that we need to understand bibi wo hofo for IMF for assessor almost she emaya na so mo ye hu adwuma now IMF is telling us that for us to have a economic recovery no there's something we need to do edien NSSA ye eno enama ECG nkomodie no ababe piemu no but yen hwe ewo Kessben TV so na fe so yentie on 92.9 FM Minister for Finance Orato Forsen edi hu enkomo when it comes to the IMF and the issues of ECG and then the exit from IMF yen hwe no na fe yentie no.
This announcement marks the definitive end of Ghana's financial bailout relationship with the IMF. The government of Ghana is exceedingly grateful to the people of Ghana for their sacrifices, resilience, and forbearance. The government of Ghana is also exceedingly grateful to our bilateral creditors, the official creditors committee, and our external and domestic investors for their collective sacrifice. Going forward, the government of Ghana announces an engagement with the IMF on Policy Coordination Instrument, PCI. The PCI is a form of technical assistance engagement with the IMF. It is non-financing instrument designed to help countries implement economic reforms and signal commitment to policies that the financial market will be very comfortable with, and unlock financing from private investors and other development partners. For the avoidance of doubt, the PCI does not provide financial bailout, but it will offer continuous capacity development, confidence boost to the market, and deliver a catalytic effect for fresh financing to Ghana. This non-bailout technical assistance policy coordination instrument will complement government effort to achieve investment grade in the near future. Achieving investment grade is very important and significant to the people of Ghana. It will lower sovereign and private sector borrowing costs and attract long-term institutional investors, increase foreign direct investment, and unlock cheaper financing for critical infrastructure development and private sector growth. Ultimately, this engagement will support government of Ghana's effort to accelerate sustainable development, create jobs, and raise living standards for all Ghanaians.
Okay, so 11 minutes into 8 a.m. So the would share no Kessben TV na Facebook no radio 92.9 FM so on ora Dr. Ato Forsen and our church name modinema to dwano. But for us to understand, yenom meka say the ordinary Ghanaian, yenom asebio ye pese atiase IMF ne ho hye ko ban nyina no ora Forsen akeka brofo na de asisi ania. But yenko na ye ne Dr. Richmond Etuahene or finance banking consultant on this matter any nundi hu komo na afi on breaking it down and mayen na yeso a sebio yenti ase no yeso yetumi ati ase ni ehu de bi aban no ede yekọ ene yesika sem nyina no bebi ekobia no obetumi ne yen ache ne yie pa dog me mo ache emo akwaba eba Kessben 92.9 FM and afi so ye Kessben TV so mijiri yese honam bibia bokode
me da wase
Mr. Preko Dankwah me bibia edaye na nyame adom ye ho odin tie nkom.
Yes, so yeah, that's ye pa. And that year, Obroni can fetch ye, but as I said, Udi ye school now, who break things down. My yes in a beya. Yeah, my man was bet TSC because I know you can't who sana no moon shed and TSC yes, sir. Now, the TN say, now you been here 20 year catchers here, the echo IMF. IMF, yes, say, on my own children, one, I'll call Uncle Bobbesian, and he name my minimum TSC and yes, okay. None will be near seeing Cocra. You can't see Uncle and say, da. Yebeko energy ye koye sisi edidi mu an ya be pie mu se sisi ye se ya tete se ye free mu enu nti no enya de ne IMF ye kwa kwaje bisian biom na mom ye se bibi the policy coordination instrument IFN PCI na enu no eye den ya edien pa na finance ministry epese ka che Ghana man efa eye IMF no ho wadama
Yo me da wase emi se aseme de wa kan the tie the minister so kan policy said the kan policy coordinating instrument na adia ye de hwese ne awoye wo krom no enye obi anya sika sem ya ma sika be de omu ne se ya ma wo nyina ye be enwumu a ese ye de hwese ye gya wo no obetimi aye for the next 3 years.
Okay.
Na the idea ne ebi ni the kan a o kan ho say are we going to be physically disciplined? What maybe by metimi spend sika bia 10% of the GDP ni abobosia sa. O say no ye ko ye kan kire mo say mo hwe mo husu ye na ma mo bobosia basa. Nti no kire mo say eni say ye kokko bobosia basa. Enye say wo mo kodie nanso omo kan kire se ya ma onema be num bia ese utimi ye ma o mani sika sem no mani ye die ekwa animu die di kan maintaining physical discipline ana the tosu ni ye get sustainability ni ye bobo sia ti se bi mpediasa e wo de ba santima o bobo sia ti se bia wadwene ye say we get GDP ratio could do 103 ana o bobo sia na is the musia ne die emse kuruma ne ye bo abruchiri ne ye bo Ghana nti uti ya o ka kire se oda Ghana fo ase ye pension ye sika wo se no oda ase ena manonefo na omobo ayeso ma etwitwa o sika so oda wase ena oba bilateral kese ye bo busia na sabiom predia san wo de ba fi mu pa so oketwia wan ri abeka se ye bo busia se de emse na yitri bum bo busia bo ya ho de nso nti ye ko no ye kan kire mo se emosia bodamfo ni amojeje ne de mojai munye biem ye tosu bi ni ye governance and transparency kumha uhwe SOE sa o de bedru ho uhwe Ghana SOE sa ye ka ye kenyina mosia ye bo nyina fa free state enterprises ebi ni electricity ayebo mu Kwame Nkrumah anya ne se de na ese nko mo ye no ye be so mo no electricity boka ma afibia abanko so wansene na nko wo de wo ye adwuma oboka ma abanso nasene enti no ka say ye nhwe SOE siniye na ye ma sa niema na ekoso wo electricity ni water eni niema nke betimi aye so bi tonsa oton o na wansa ton o krom ha no aboka na abansa de sika kohyem obi urane transport basisa no aboka na ban koto basisa bre no ena no ba ku bi ya mekan ye bibi se yakoto basisa bre STC oi won koto basa o mekan jiro bia o to de basisa no de ba o de yele dwuma nya ne profit adentina esinti wono na o mo kan je se mo ya kuri ye jam ho akuri sane ma na enye no mo hwe na mu nyai no mo nyai a mo be san ba nti mi nsan ti mo anwe a mo be san ba biem asema wo kan ehunya the tosu bi mu ye financial sector bank ye ka financial sector ngofo pika say bank sector nko da bi ukaya obi ti se papa ko sindu
yes
ye gu neduma kuni se enna me no ka se ye ndia o maka
enokre
asset management bi 53 eno so o abranti ye wo si so akopa bi yatene ya onu so enu won so sa enu ogu no ontia o maka iti wo mo ko no mo se yesremo ye mpese ni akoso no ma ba kokoro wo mu a me kan ma nkofo ati financial sector o mo ko ti ade bi friend GAT amalgamated to support banks bi ti say bank ni nsabi eno so akoye bibia obuni be se ya abatros we are who ye and we are on Oko. And all countries say financial sector. Mommy shed ye, they are maybe more a financial sector. Say, you're tossing inclusive economic growth. Independent my Krumha. It is a percent economy, young shed ye my bema, money, dealing in Kosovo, to say agric sector, to say manufacturing sector. See a bushe, liberty near Kosovo. Now the chat will cry a cocoa board or tokuku, or no tokuku, if in an aquata press tokuku, your mocha. If you may do it to me, your mocha, la mocha, and Omaka is a semo. Mukoko board no more electricity, no more near my echo, the way jam. Nemo and Busumins, ye are always Yabusumins, and she April, she September. Yaba, your best said you did jam on more ye. Indeed, she say, I could see no sort of question because one day say we are my. If you were 69 years, every 4 years you call. It is 17 years, yeah, 17, you call 17 every 4 years. And on President about 18. Until she say we are mamma. Now she say, oh, you know, Omode by Rwanda for the year, Omoko Bosia 2022. Omo here, she said, PCF, Mamma, who may be so to say, Om economy, no. And you might have to do into a more I am a problem with so my into ye be mine, you be this one at the boy. Into Busama or Paya, and near money, she say, you know, the killing pulling on my boss, or you no, papa, young great him and co 18, 19, this you do so.
Okay. And that what they are school so make idea okay kind now. One was maintaining physical discipline. Two was governance and transparency, especially with the SOEs, and I feel so you have the financial sector no SSA share near to me and maintaining standard to near here Nubia and Kobokebia Meshaye. And then the other one has to do with the inclusive economic growth and also so 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are some of the things that we want to do. But touching on the inclusive economic growth, you know, minim DSAB the mekano and then the boy idea. I mean, we've had several governance how many some 8 years ago, even down to now, we've been talking about industrialization and talking about one district, one factory, planting for food and jobs. We've been talking about other things. I buying beer about the towards in a bit to increase one or the other, either employment and also said to facilitate industrialization. And still, we are still marking time.
The entire market time, they say. I mean, kind of cringe though. I buy away, I buy into me, Kriti Juma. The private sector, Maminso Kessben, Usha Kessben, now the multi or the companies are war, any Juma wire. What did Jama could be good in? I buy into me.
Okay.
The state sector doesn't create, you create enabling environment for the private sector. And a baby or what? As a PPP. Public-private partnership. Yen kaseni ina na obeye. Oh, ye no adi on say nti no ameti say and krofo bi say kania na ye pese ye no. Masa, mamen kan ro hosam nchiro. A car electricity a boy 2.5% of the GDP, which is equivalent to 2 billion every year.
Yeah.
The last 8 years, 9 years, mamen chiro and what Professor Bobkin a kind.
Yeah.
The last 9 years, when my bank got the electricity, $8 billion.
Wow.
That $8 billion. Thank you. States need the private sector. Say private sector will be more million be found one. To be a Yebenya Juma alcohol. Yebenya Juma. Because social private sector may create a job. And your public sector, they would be doctors, nurses, any teachers. Maybe when Juma party run transport. Yeah, son. Tom Sunday, but unfortunately, your problem now, the SOE's problem on the public physical balances and the public sector debt. And you say, I'm a human because police was any other form. And one more city BC or 620,000 and a few. Na sanko fo nyina afiri mu bana adwuma police ngwana ne amekwana afa wo ma se na besa wo ma ka nya adwuma nti kiasi ye ma private sector se ye kansa ti sa wo ko akomadan ene dem ma ene francho ho a ye dia tomatoes the SSA and say, your boy, also so once, and now buying and a quality idea 1D, 1F. That be, Oka, any person, no one more yes, age me. Mueka, Moya, saying, a convention of Moyano. Say, betting your boy, Monese machine, education, near as a similar top fertilizer, any a day boy with a Munya crown among Fantitia. Open you betting here, no, but you won't give it to you. Sabana, what you know. And any SOEs now, you go man. They say your problem, I won't call my boy Coco. Hey, SOEs, electricity, water, who can now, okay, you see, it's already 61 by 181 crowd report going to be farmer.
Yeah.
161. I mean, opening over to no without the Koto and this over Yajma. I mean, what was one amount 20 anything. In the countries with me, who is say, public sector, integrity job, it will be inclusive. And I know my main kind of person, my country order. Because I people is more and more your chap, I should try honey, a uniform to try intimate tomo. Nanko for the mobile, I didn't think the empty quine casse. Among a year, near the among Kola Kusukueti. You're moving concurrent free, abruchiri, or the abac, this capo. Can't you know can say private sector, a bit near Biamo, a bit near tomatoes, a bit near annual. Create the enabling environment. Say, acquire the Bako facilities, a media, expect the Bako Bomo, Nina, media. Unfortunately, until almost inclusive growth near. Ye by a muye, I'm a private sector, and acquire near ma, a bet near boa. But unfortunately, Tabiana SOEs, no public sector, and here's the man on my. How much was the crowd Mama was all good to? Electricity as my cake. Yes, almost on that. Can you losses to the local meter normally go for a camp, normally be acquisition, no meter I am one. Until way so, you may be betting a free Nazareth. You be betting free Nazareth. And this year, I'm saying, Namini and Cordia or more canoma. And Colana, do I have here BBC free education and more cobaminum cumu. A bed door, swan door, so the bedroom baby, no intimate sano. Until a ne a yamra or more country, say. Yami Niama, a bit in your man for a year, Juma ye. No matinity on taxes, no waiting here live to say human beings. Oh, yes, I did the come from Governor, the ones of my country, say. We Britain, Queen Flewa, Queen Croon for the Flewa. The whole world, you come for crossing Canada for, you talk of America for. The couple of Europe open other plan, some cannot be intimidated. Go for the economic growth,
Yes, Pao. Yeah, Tiasia, Emide say one man, the ordinary Ghanaian, Tiasia, now for you who the Beko Nemono, SSA Nano, Obibeka will play a watchdog role well. Senebeya and Nema Bobo see IMF for Eddie Jaye. Mamim Bosubu maintaining physical discipline, governance and transparency, especially with the SOEs and our financial sector and the not discipline. Abemuye now face the inclusiveness of economic growth. Nino, ye bit me a bon banye. Namjiri says your boss Sanyama will banya. We are too sure of say in the next 2 years and ahead of us, even subsequent government will not chase IMF for any money.
Na almost so I did about one can. Yana NBA new share on so omoko. I did about omoko. Apart from the culture of physical discipline, or some concerns me. Concerns now in media, Mamenka, the kind electricity participation. You have to me a book board. You have to me a good purchases. When they know I can want some say a finance minister no year more. You have to a chapter a year. Ukraine and Russia war and the US and another prices of crude oil yes it is a woman manage economy no one fast any man one count apart from the Oma country one would that best sorry now especially the oil prices na ecoso papa dia dawroma papa dia wadawroma na dawroma or the how brave we are seeing na also kaso bin kabin challenge nyame be kasa no because no ba continue ma oil free $70 and for $118. I mean how and so just a young so basa na you share for suye ni share ni nti bo na you see Ukraine war but you see Russia war nti we must see geopolitics. We must monitor especially it has influence on food. But see, food, energy, and fertilizer prices can be affected by this, and this would affect the inclusive growth na American agri and manufacturing. See, I sa near me any dahwa. Oh, I didn't know who quite any yes, your problem is I didn't know who quite. I did you are, I see a typical say, nay, share for us. Yeah, the typical one is like electricity. When you say me, mixing for Matis and Kofubi can be present shower. Look, 1 year you are boca for 10-20 years. Now buying a boca and Kazomana Boko, Omoto, Yako, now about public sector, not about fiscal. Yes, you have been go for the boss on my camera. I say, oh, yeah, boy, about to him. Oh, Kosi, Kodan, Koda, San Omudi, Kama, Yakodi DP. Mother, maybe a pensioner. Almost to be sorry for country up and say, Omon Premier in the area.
Yeah. They couldn't. This is so, and I'm so, I'm entrench myself. I'm you super. But you see, my main kind of wholesome show. You go school, UK. That's an Margaret Thatcher. They had a similar problem in Ghana, like the way I came. Everything was being state. And I'm Margaret Thatcher and was you also hear the you didn't know a Jumakrama. Or fire, what is it to too much? Company be a friend of that and a friend of British Telecom. Number one, British Telecom. That year 1978, they made a loss of about 5 billion. When they said Margaret Thatcher privatized British Telecom or the Vodafone, the following year, they made a profit of about 4 billion a tier dividend. You see, number one, great in 1979 post-war average. That private sector. You will use state sector in certain things unless it's strategic. Maybe electricity, your partnership boom, when money is supply, you betting on a state our own. You want participation here, young come once a man. I'm a boss, I always am a big job. Say, what on son was in a boca. Yakoto Bas 100 near the Abre STC. Meaning Tom Bravo, Mecca just a year beton. Meton, Adisica, Yaton Bita. Macanoha, you can't drink between 1989 and 1999. You told 352 SOEs, and you have 767 billion. And now, agency cry, you can't agency wire for 62 billion. And then, one more agency, you must find final. Now, you must find for Kayagana, the Ankabos are very lost. Ghana, the Ankabos lost because you could do other things, you say, see, Yamino boy, say, Yamina boy, you so Buzamba boy, which you for long kitchen, near monkey kitchen. And give me there, my classy, you could hear clean now. All right. Rwanda, yeah, over here 2025. And they could Rwanda on the path of recovery. It is only a tri-tested policy. And I am a honor. You so much, yes, your home 3 and 3 years. Okay. All right. Dog, yeah, see me bring addition with the film. Radin Shaw, number home by some my. Yeah, that's a pioneer. Yeah, Dr. Richmond, the 200 finance and banking consultant in NND and Como FA. What is happening with the IMF and the exit and what's truly policy condition instrument, and all that. And come on, NED. And I mean, call 30 minutes into 8 a.m. Now, mean code Zoom. Then let me speak to another economist on this particular matter. The issues of IMF, the exit, the external credit facility arrangement that has ended. We're having a new 36-month policy coordination instrument, and the issues of getting the economy recovery and getting the SOEs and all that. You go so I do and come in consume na meni nana and you may do Bequin or economist. You know, ND and come on and found and I saw to make I'm watching my kwaba ever Kessben TV so and I feel so yeah Kessben 92.9 FM and crying now. My main business are same way. So truly, if these ones are already Dr. Richmond, a trying elbow bossy are the things that we need to look at. One of the key things or some boss has to do with the geopolitics in there. So IMF, we are happy, we are exiting. Any problem? Yeah, here. Musumu Jaya with another policy coordination instrument which will not let us have any economic, any financial bailout. But we should factor some of these things. How, as an economist, how do we factor these geopolitics, the SOEs who are not functioning well yet are buying the Sikabeshem and all that? What can we do to maintain the system, sanitize the system, and see that discipline, and see that we can then have some shocks to stand the geopolitics that is happening outside the African continent?
Yo, Kojo, medase, mechia etiefo a etie Kessben, Accra, Kumasi, and US Afanena.
Okay.
I think
also camera name my Moadama.
Okay, right, no problem.
All right. Okay.
Me driving.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Matthias. Now, the kind as a booster, we should be asking the question strongly. Why not requesting for this? I think that confusion again cure. I think it's the Maakye finance minister press conference. Now IMF country manager no etin in China, mission chief etin in China. He was clear. Say, the government of Ghana no and approach IMF for a new policy. CFA end August, no. Even though the press conference also made it appear so you're free more, there be free more August. Although I want a 3-month extension now, be August 2028, sorry 2026 year was a fear you me. Now and if year and I won't enter into the policy coordination instrument and not yet common. And I think that we should also state it clear. Say a year or minor. And I requested from the IMF say we would want another policy coordination instrument program after the ECF has expired and has matured.
Okay.
But then the question now will be some. Kakebe and Beza Medica question is I think this whole PCI we have over a premature.
Okay.
Premature because free IMF 2019. Na honorable senior minister Osafumafo Nabona Akufo-Addo His Excellency President Akufo-Addo Abembo no. Obekaya na ye fan is nko IMF nsemu bi.
Yes.
It sounds the IMF itself has some fiscal strains the Mawo government. Who draw a manifesto and I will born contemporary political party or candidate who for IMF policies in with him. But when the IMF policies are in town, restricted. It doesn't allow you to aggressively embark on some projects. And if we're going to run this country also in that sense of we'll also not go for some of the quantum leap projects. And when you look at the global situation, Dr. all these countries have run their countries on debt. It's the young debt is that bad. It has to be sustainable, but we can't also have the IMF around such that 133 the 24-hour economy and buying aggressive or pursuing aggressively. IMF would not allow you to overly spend in some of these projects. More of to say maybe a big push if by third year or income competes strongly with debt payments or debt maturity payments now. IMF will not allow you to aggressively pursue your infrastructure projects. But the economy has to be run. The country has also to be run. And see, I was thinking Kamen Kudia and Kayema break akrana or minor and healing from the IMF. There's a study I was reviewing last week, and across the world, there seem to be some concerns that IMF policies do not allow governments to embark on a lot of strong poor interventions. Liberating poverty. The big one is a IMF program. Now you're my own funny power. And you are a bit restrained, even recruiting in quasi government agencies. Now, as under this the IMF program, Dr. Bawumia Akufo-Addo Ekofaba, and they finally said they had some sort of breathing space with this. But the traditional IMF programs, it's a very restrictive program on even recruitment. I was thinking, you be free ECF no and kebema your home break akrana. I run the economy. And also, yet made the prove. Well, I think that the finance minister in a group not out to say the economy has turned the corner, achieving great strides. Yeah, sure. Figures here, the exchange rate has been stabilized. Reserve, forest reserve, no, almost 5 months import cover. The target was 3 months. Yet the 2 month account, which is not it's an important feat. If it is inflation, yet me pay free from 54 and 2022 now about another call 23% by December 2024. Now about who funds be so more pay what is why be pin 3% and I can say I think Zenanka we have earned some good accolades, sir. We should be confident of what we have achieved to go to the market and prove to the market, say, this is Ghana, this is what we've achieved, even though with IMF, and we want to test the market without IMF. I think we are making an impression, say, who knew what they are thing. And maybe unless that's the situation now, the government of the day, and the economists and the advisors are on economic table, and so say, figures now question mark be down to be careful how we approach the market. Let's keep the IMF on the table to give us credibility. I think that is the but in the global politics situation, IMF the human chairman of it, and sometimes we also have to educate the viewers. Sorry, the viewers, the Ghanaian, one dream, one mind, when they say IMF going to IMF, and the bonnet. Because Ezan say or Maya share IMF as you can't share IMF as sorry don't IMF Kuno is a group that we associated with service your membership we pay whatever we're supposed to pay lodge a deposit of SDRs through the Bank of Ghana. In the IMF we are party, but we'll be only benefiting from IMF when we need that bailout or that critical times AB and KB here IMF more. It may going to the IMF was not the bad thing, but I think that there's also some ways of strain from IMF. You bet your own temwa. Lanka, you develop your economy in this. You 5 years without IMF because we are from 2012 EBA. In fact, 2009 EBA. We've been to the IMF 3-4 times. Make the PCI and come on 4 because 2009, 2012 me IMF program as and Minister Kwabnadu for the minister said so from 2015 up in 2018 Minister Furiata Beso IMF, that was the second one. Then Minister Furiata na Beso Sandia IMF BM Minister Atufos in Betwa, so that's the third one. They say no yes to IMF so for the fourth one with the PCI. I think a bread drawer can make a kramanka. It means run the economy in 5 years without an IMF intervention. You best signal the market and say, oh, Ghana does not need IMF credibility certification. Ghana beat me at any market credibility without the IMF on the table as we always have it we've always had it in the past. No. Now, but that's to me. Okay. With the geopolitics, no. Again, dismiss that idea. Say, a geopolitical situation invite you into IMF. We 2022-23 situation now. 60% was geopolitics. The COVID situation now. Getting out of it now. Debt ratings, debt rating companies, no starters. Downgrading. Then ABR, Russia, Ukraine, we can't think that situation is always coming from there. Iran, the US in Tokyo, it is not a source for an IMF program. It can't be the source.
Okay, all right. But I say, Nana, but I see pa ne one analysis a why am I repairing me for na ye din komo ye pa and nice tie and then that's Nana, and you may do Bequin or your economist in your Edin Comono. I was Zoom regarding the issues of a ECG and I feel so IMF won't commodini na beginning now and come. So clearly, one of the things I hear the IMF for Ejina Suye and Dr. Richard Etwaso Eka, and no one common affinia by bedini, but that has to do with the state organizations and enterprises in and one IMF for a 2 omnious super has to do with the ECG mekan distribution operation for no omo and to me eden kaniano no collection and eye hu sikasem nyina aba baby be wo ho ora etu ahene ka is almost 8 billion and you to me spending so far now jijis can now book and yes and this gumu there why we should be doing a privatization of the revenue collection side of the ECG bidding who enkomo yepa e wo fia 42 minutes into a 8 a.m. Midin at a Mansan soon for Kojo Preko Dankwah Gentlemen Dental Clinic and or the Ziga Stick a bebre a fiana bromin konamine Kingdom Herbal for Indi and Komo na member back Kingdom Herbal for a Ahmano so ye no mundin common female many doctor in common na Kingdom who drew dear as we are soon na within ye pa medium nom manunum bia inti ekoyie mame pa na Kingdom there oni omotia na ese oni ade papa enete no and inti enko na ye ni doctor enkodi enkomo na ye hwede ekọ jinsen ne de me peye pa dog bibia boko de
bibia boko mi yakoju
me pacho me jinsen no shorto bantino me pacho wa mihia mop up na chese betumi de nya hodin akasa aye de sese me ye bia wo na jinsen ne san ebe ha me pa me de manage ho
ya bibi ebe blow
mate pa so camera na me na me hu anim na yentoa eye jumedi ne so ewe Kessben TV so na face Kessben 92.9 FM yenko ne ni enkomo Kingdom Herbal abamo na ase ede na wo ho ema eye T4 ene ahwefo nyina wadama yetio
yo edikan mechia wahwefo ne watifu nyina ene anope baby biala obiawa o hwe me mo nsusu abutie mi ewo radio so no eye Kingdom Herbal Center for ayedi indupa badwa so yen ene so no yasa babi ma ye ne mo ebetwetwe komo anope na abribia no yensema ye kan se nipa dasani oti ho a wo se wo hwe wapomdin ho ye ye aye woni de efa apomdin ho no ye ba na ye be ka kirew se ade we enye manipadua na wo se ugiye asem na ye kan etu titiru anadwudidie eye ade a enye manipadua no anadwo ubididi a pe aduane a eye light ka ubanku fufuo wapesie emutuo no achakura no nohim na nka wadi sa aduane no awie but enei abo anadwo no nkono no ju afa no obi di fufuo afa no obi di apesie afa no obi di banku so obi de saa me de ye wo ye no ye di fra anadwo a minia senka ebia won kwa nyame de ma wo no say ye 100 years a enam sa na dwudidie na wudie no emmo unni sa obefri atiasefo asase so ya de bi ebeba bobom e de amaw eni ti ne ye kanfo ye dru a ya to ne din say Kingdom garlic capsules eni libitesi e de amaw se dru ye kutami e ye dru a aba ene no eboa woma anadwudidie wo mudidi anadwo no wo hya ase se onunum sa ye nwe bi a eboa wo ye pa afei woma cholesterol do so o lipedie nim se e bia wakwa yare sabia doctor akacho se cholesterol no ekosura misrawada edura o se onu enie ene le kutamin Kingdom garlic bitters ene le capsules no so no seina ene so etiem sa eno we mienu ene wo se onum le bra wo onum no sradie na adori wo lipedie nim sradie na asisi ntinu kwan no ni nyina no ebejai e de amaw ama ayisa hawuni nyina e de afiri ho ebeboa ama niema timi akonkan ayeden e de amaw afei enam se sade no asisi ntinu kwanti no obo se wotena se che kakra bi anase oye ya o se anansi achime nan anansi asome nsa na do na no de pimpim ho saa onse isuso na ye titiriti untimi nya ne se ne mimi ye midi ebasa untimi enya ne saa ekofa haw bebre e de bre wu nipadua no afei edidimo na onan na wodi tia fom no mo se onan no soso no ai se de fom e na wa ase enti no ondo onan ni tia fom a onte se watia fom onan no dadwa wo okura na onte enam se onan no mogya ni timi emma ho emma ni timi nya adwuma eyi na adwoi ana wo hya ase se onuma ebeboa wo ebeyi saa hawo ni nyina ye den e de afiri ho e de ama Kingdom garlic bitters and capsules no ebeyi saa hawo ni nyina ana wo mu susu a wo mo asichire yale diabetes no mo se o mo na ase no na edudu wo mo afenfu wo ntini mu twetwe wo mo wunya Kingdom garlic bitters and capsules a eyi saa hawo no I said the yasija e de aguni na ase enti sa wo asichire yale na wo okọ ayaresabia doctor de what odu so a mesro fa Kingdom garlic bitters no eka ho onu doctor de bia don hwe be say dia 30 minutes shasia ta onu ye die ebeboa ayi haw bia na wo ho no e di afrobo se o sugar level no ebeba normal sugar no ekosura ehu eba forma ehu also wunya ne normal kingdom garlic bitters no ne capsules no ana ebeboa ama atimi ayesa ana omu susu a omo pressure no pressure duro pa eno no na nkrofo bebre omo pressure nim so omo pressure enti bebre enum duro enti ye duro da me kase emfa ho se won yare anase won yare no kingdom garlic bitters no ebra won no no eboa eyi saa hawo ni nyina di free ho e di emma wutimi gina wona so enema bia timi ekonkan ema wa wu say yes afi de enema hyase etumpon ewo nipadie nim enti so wo pressure titru mema no de obodi a show ma dwumu ni say pressure ni ti no ama one ne yire anase le official na ne bembo mo ayemre enti omo nta no pressure ni no mesro se utaye se won hwa wo ha na ogu edi ti na me de kingdom garlic bitters yi kan ho se ununum sa dro we ya ebeboa ama pressure no aba normal pressure so kosura ehu eba forma ehu nemom so wunya kingdom garlic bitters yi ene ne capsules yi a eboa ema niema bia timi eden ekonkan edi ema etimi maame nom me papa nom wo bi biala wo hweme no mesro wuhia kingdom garlic bitters and capsules ebra wo nom no le busu yi system no onkwamo na aba form na ama abribia yade no so wunya ya grey binuma yade pa de enya de a ebi ebeye oda enti kope ya grey bito nenu na emo na enti yade no ase eye den emfamfiri lipediam na ma wo no nyama bia ntimi yade enko enkan ema mesro onum kingdom garlic bitters a ebo wo ba free cold lift through e wana wo bo no num kingdom garlic bitters and capsules wonum a utimi da na wo da soso na ohun osore a ho nya omremre timi se ahoden no yeden ewo ho enu achi kingdom ginseng power no enso na ansa na no me number no na gu tv no anim no wo a wo pay nsema me ka mu nchiremu bia no number no 0597 29 8855 0597 29 8855 and after 0559 72 9109 0559 72 9109 eye me numbers am di jumenti no ebra ma no gusu ameka se onti bibia se afre sesi e na ye monkomo je ye gusu no eye amansan adura Ghana fo nyina age atum no eye kingdom ginseng power capsules unim de ginseng eye malipadua no na ye sade eye mema aduro de aniejai aduro wei ana Ghana mema ni nyina age atum se ye pe mema aduro a ye numa eboa ye ema ye mema na awida form no because your mema no bebre o ha ye mema no da form say team ye pe de gina so ye be gina so say eye kingdom ginseng power capsules aduro we ye aduro a wonum ya na wo bema no gina so nemom eye aduro eye ni pe de no juma enti so wuye bia anopa mienu enumre mienu anopa mienu enumre mienu anopa mienu enumre mienu almost obema no na ahase le pejani na afede ya jesimi se gin le gina so enti memma mu tie me ena anopa yi memma mo hweme a wo enra na dwekura ensu ato okumase ha sei oyire no koin oyire didi watem oyire de wo mu kra sa wo ye bema enam se emre kakra bi a waye nti no obema ntimi nyina so no mesro eye kingdom ginseng power capsules eno ane adura a wonuma ebeboa ama obema no etimi ejira so ene maduri se dem da meka no se enye Ghana nko amono left wo nyina na Africa ha countries no more na no eto enuedi ebi free ha na bi free ha na bi free ha ana doctor wedre die aboa ye nti bema bia na wo twere bema bia wutie me no se wa ye mre ewo proma eye kingdom ginseng power capsules eno ana wonuma ebeboa ama watimi agina wona so o pense ni hwemu a number no gu tv no anim no from baako na frame na yemo enkomo afen susu no super tremendous capsules eni vitamin eyema obi awo enemu yare titru yenua mo ma na mase ekeka mo nsu egumu eneba bi free wase te se akatoa afen wunu kulihia ba ma no nsuo na awo se ekonmu no se na obetimi yin se no na saa nsuo no ba abonten ebeye den no watimi yin se afi enka cent ewo wase wate nka so article hyase ka onum kingdom super tremendous capsules edrei onuma oba obetisi so na anokwasem ne se oba unum se gbewe na be ma no kingdom jese power na mu hia mu hu be sane mo saa che sa tenka mu be nya no mu nya bida enti oba bi a wo hwe me oba bi a wo tie me a wase kekaw enyema bi firi wase te sa katoa afi ensu gu sent wo wase watenka na ateko na be ma no nsu na ebeko mu na eba abontin be ze na etie yin say super tremendous capsules ebe yes adwuma ni nyina edi amount na enemu yade no ya na manfo bebre complain ana me de ma to adura enko jinti a me nua ba ma enko ne se aduro no enye enko na wo se wo no sami a metie ani wo bi me yiri ni bi me ne no koda na onya enemu yade ni bi a me ko no koto aduro no ma oba ne nya bi dada ti me ne sta koda me se nya yare no emfa ho aduro ankro makra na obenu ma wo sta benya sanso na so oba no ko na koto no ni me be hia o sa benya yare ni nti oba no be me nyina no do super tremendous capsule any kingdom garlic dike munu boma e ba boa mama enemu yade no atu me sro ebra me dima no AC Dr. Penny me number le dika no 0597 29 88 55 e bia o person no me kitchen kom oh how bi catch me so wo catch me amejo so me TV so de me mfre ma no see I will say my free TV no so no na wa frɛ e 0597 29 88 55 0597 29 8855 and I say 0559 729109 0559 729109 ofra bibi biara wonti ase no yebenya abotre na ya chechi mu ama wonsusu no wanya honti ase na de mi twato no me kai atiefo no ahwefo nyina se on the 27th ya resabe our Great Kingdom Medical Center yebenya free screening e wo ho into the 27th May busu bi ya de esi ho a yedi sa adwuma no ewo ekropon akuapem enti no mesro bomodin say 27th odu ani ebe kire ho na aba wani ani yare na ha ye be share ma free afei say ana prostate ebe free screening ana ultrasound so ye be ni na free to bia enwa ho ne ye na number no de ene good TV ni so for mu ba connect to Dr. Penny
yes we ada se bebre ye ni Kingdom Herbal Center for and edi enkomo sonko efa omunro ho ene edropapa omuton ema eye nyina 54 minutes past over 8 a.m. Din Edama Sansun for Kojo Preko Dankwah menko zoom na fe mene minua bema do mekameka se doctor Benjamin Insia ebedi enkomo afa eniema has to do with the ECG and afa so dia akan na ebedi ni nyina ho enkomo ma menko na menka say Bayport Financial Services ese menka say Omo fixed deposit no mo go so eye ho adwuma erinti no wa wo pese wo ye fixed deposit no woni eye the best financial credible institution e de Bayport indi sa ensanwoso no na ebebo ye pa now Bayport se men kan cho se eye moho kwa returns no ano odene sa woni omo eye omo financial omo fixed deposit ni bia ebeko yi ama pa omo obosumi nsia e de wo ho sa so na obosumi miensa na fe ba ko de eso e wo ho no mo betumi ama wo aye bi 5,000 and above will be to me no more year. I fixed deposit in it and time now only Ora Bonnie, Mr. Bonnie, penny or that fake a year Bayport and no AD and common. The number is no 0245 153283 0245 153283 and answer 026 300 7922 026 300 7922 now when a Bayport Financial Services for ND and Komo and fa omo fixed deposit in home na bibia betumi akoyi amount Saso na meka cho se Imascon Estate Ghana Limited jumeku a ensase pa de omudi hu akotini ye pa na ansase aba aye tonton a sebi sisi ade abebia ba beduni de se wo ye hwan anase sebi enkoye se den kra na obetumi atobi na wo so no obetumi edi bibi kakra kwakosi su na wo so ne efira ensem ne oha bebiri na mane ni nyina no enkosu bio no ni nyina Imascon Estate Ghana Limited se men kan cho se oton sase full plot from 28,000 watesu hey about a 20,000 Ghana cedis. So and a half plot if you 14,000 Ghana cedis about be do 10,000 Ghana cedis. And you know so water full plot back a 20,000 Ghana cedis. Now water half plot back a 10,000 Ghana cedis. A Chopoli 10 minutes drive away from University Central University, and I feel so we're 5 minutes away from a Saglema affordable house here buying ACR. They just Krumankasa. Oh baby Sefata says nipa so etna. And it's an term now when a Mascon Estate Ghana Limited for ND and Komo Enfa in Sassen ho na fe no obi to mene omboso edinsa wo so bebre. Omo number is 0553 840646 0553 840646 and after so 0553 838 and now so says 020 9155 437. Now we need a Mascon Estate Ghana Limited for ND and Komo. I'm on first no Spintex Road Community 18 Junction. I'm on by Allied Filling Station. No, I bang a KFC restaurant. No, I walk Community 18 Junction. Honum on sa ebeka a Mascon Estate Ghana Limited. Na unyomu edi and komo minko zoom na femini minyabema Benjamin Insia Endi and Komo energy policy analyst. You know Endi Komo on this issue of ECG privatization. I hun komo dia IMF for a reason. You know Endi hu and Komo pa ora Ben so what me kan me watch mo akwa baba Kessben TV so na face Kessben 92.9 FM so since no many economics for na din komo. Now there's a critical matter that the economics are telling us, the financial experts are telling us, that there are 4 critical things that Sebi IMF for EDJ. One of them has to do with the issue of getting governance and transparency when it comes to the SOEs, what state enterprises and organizations what are buying saying, and we should be looking at it. Then IMF hit straight into the issue of we getting somewhat economic recovery. We need to touch the ECG operations, and has to do with the revenue collection thereabout. And now I quite remember somewhere 2025 December 30th thereabout, the Energy Ministry came out to say that they are not totally selling out the ECG, but then they're looking at the revenue collection bit where they need to give it out to see efficiency when it comes to collection. Now, what the IMF is saying and what the reasons that the Energy Ministry is also giving, does it sit well with more that industry ni munana wadama?
Medase. I think that yen at Semse most of the time Akase was say some form of privatization of some of the state-owned entities. Because of her reports now, SIGA eta publishing companies or more joint ventures, or more profitability or high compared to companies are state-owned, like fully state-owned. Sometimes on profitability is low, negative sometimes, and how one of them is ECG. And yeah, as Sam say, one of the missing links in the energy sector has to do with revenue mobilization. And ECG or J almost about almost 90% of power, and 80% of power you produce. And this OG about 80% of power you produce now or no to mobilize revenue in a year. Other power sector service providers now or more. The value chain more. Yantimentu your monswa and also edika brain. The second part they say on to mean is can my infant yomono on also no nisika die edosun and oboka p at the end to because a core entity it serves political interest and also personal interest either than national interest. Until ye po bia na say appoint to be say on manage this particular firm. No, why increasing liabilities? No, there no say liabilities almost 80 billion Ghana cedis. No enka a buying car or the IPPs no. And 80 billion income no. One, won't mobilize it. Emma into IPPs no. Until Emma a cabedaho. Two, also internally, when you're very efficient. you engage in frivolous procurement. Sometimes procurement and fashion so because one, maybe some politicians almost sponsor a party and benefit from it. Or two, maybe one monocran open benefit, you know, yeah, procurement, and procurement are maybe 10%. Then it's a baker. Then I'll sign Bobusia be indeed, these are some of the reasons why liabilities are high. And you know, yeah, call it for say, because your problem, the system losses, no, uncollected revenue, high any sound money in no. Then we need a new way I bet me abwa. I'm mobilize this canina. And ye who said one of the reasons I ECG to mobilize this can be a political interference because Obi crowd the kana ECG konwa ultimate free abai mundi pass ECG tata. And we observed that in 2024. A brand ECG called Ashanti region, I think one of the schools. The regional minister then came out to say no, any quite so here. But say who allow private person, not a private person here very independent. So a private person no only a buying it can be a buying in a cover by swako discano. We think that private sector participation no, in some operational activities of ECG, especially revenue mobilization no, Amayati system losses no so and system losses by PRC is 21%, but ECG etimiko as high as 30%. They say Matisom so mobile money or more around 24-25%. By Endocrano is higher than the benchmark of PRC. Inti say nya ankran kreno obisumwa or no bit may increase collected revenues no or mobilize kesia ECG bit me decide sikano at IPP so now or so what me anya be at the almost 80 billion Ghana cedis car at the hono. But made a batisha because private sector no may not also be the solution. Because in recent analysis at Samson, Yahu said the major problem for ECG no also has to do with the price of electricity at the generation point. Because the price of electricity at the generation point is too high, no, people find ways to dodge, and as I mean, dodge, avoid or evade paying these tariffs as in bills. Because we have your generation cost to be whether the bulk, composite, or whatever they call it, no, it been almost 18 cents per kilowatt hour. Saying 18 cents per kilowatt hour, and some the transmission 1, transmission 2, distribution 1, distribution 2, Babeka Hono. Now we say Ghana Nino 8 here almost 20 something cents per kilowatt hour is one of the most expensive tariffs in Africa. Would you compare your middle income countries and as a lower middle income countries? Ghana pays one of the highest. So if your electricity prices are quite high, especially from the generation point, people always find a way to avoid it. Until ubet me anya pressure privatization, wait me mobilization or the ama ankran. But all the man crankre na still no or price no from generation and the board there and crankre will find ways to evade it. For example, ne so castle we studio krumha, which I think SEMSA is likely to take it up. There are most people who be so almost say, will you find ways to evade the payment of bills and asset tariffs now? They will tell you yes, because tariff no boarding. And as a tariff no boarding, consume ne household expenditure. Abrani the daily income and I said the average income per month no in Rusa no they'll find ways and that also gives some difficulty to ECG. So I think that in as much as you support to private sector participation no, we should also address the key reason that the cost of generation is quite high, and even if you don't solve that problem, even engage the private sector, you are going to pay commission to the private sector. The private sector benefits from this commission, yet the problem will not be solved because the debt will keep on ballooning.
Ben, it is good you brought our mind down to this issue of the price of electricity, which then again amounts to two major things that will make ECG work very well. But why is it that I didn't know the electricity no and when you say at the point of generation point generation point in and then again I didn't know was rosa again pa and I'm money born was taxes and I said dintia badama.
Okay, so here kania sector now bulk generation charge, your VRD and your composite generation charge, VRD, and then the IPPs. Into Q2 tariff crash here, VRD, because also no or rely on hydro more, no, and bulk generation charge was quite lower. That's 70 pesos per kilowatt. 70 pesos per kilowatt is likely going to be around, let's say around 6 to 8 cents at current exchange rate terms per kilowatt hour. But we waiting against the IPPs. IPPs, no. We wait here is around 118 cents per kilowatt hour. 118 cents per kilowatt hour is around 12, almost 13 cents. 118 pesos per kilowatt hour. It's around 12 to 18 cents per kilowatt hour in terms of dollar exchange rate. No, and we say we are already cheap, but IPPs there no was raw. And say IPPs there no was raw. Or imperative tariff na say final tariff na consumer betu and was raw. Until we are the generation cost no, and I say composite generation charge no generators in the ETM like Asogle. Same power, AXA, car power, VRA, or boy, no. The weight now is about 59% of the total electricity cost. And some of these 59%, or more Kessben, apart from say these generators no be install machinery, or be install plant in anymore, will be a work up Kessben ECG netco. Because periodically they have to buy transmission distribution lines and our cables now distributing periodically. They have to get transformers, bulk supply points, lower voltage transformers to ensure that Abribiano or more power are very reliable and they are upgraded. Then or more transmission any distribution boomer 59% goes to generation and then the 41 no transmission need distribution share. Over Mokrana transmission the Nisika kit for Intina. Sometimes we are not able to even upgrade our transmission system, especially the OT regions and the Ultra regions, because SCADA eco transmitters or no, and as the national interconnected transmission system no, it's supra because now we are talking transmission. One is taking about 9 pesos per kilowatt hour, transmission 2 taking 4 pesos per kilowatt hour. These are small. Inti Yesika do na eco generation for no, because one the generation charge has been over inflated. Maybe politicians know why they've inflated some of these costs, and because it has been inflated, it makes the imperative tariff quite expensive, and say a very expensive, regardless of any PPP or the private sector participation or the still Ghanaians will find ways to avoid paying it or evade paying it because welfare and also monthly salary na electricity also at the time my system no yen plan in Ghana so now air conditioner is a necessity, it's not luxury until anybody or no teacher ni or 3,000 a month and I said 3,500 a month now electricity every month electricity in channel almost 1,500 a month, almost 800 a month, based on gadgets or also fees, also they'll find ways to evade it. I'm not saying that is the right thing to do, but prices are high, people will find ways to evade it, and regardless of any private sector participation, you may not be able to achieve your objective, and that is why I think that it is key for us to look at private sector participation, but it's also keener for us to look at the price of electricity, especially from the generation perspective.
Robin, you better say, Radin Shaw, any dead in the additional DFM in our gentry, that's a big champion for so a semse.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, Benjamin is the energy policy analyst, AG and common concerning the issue of ECG, IMF, and Chronobengina. But of course, watch say the economy the ban don't know two things of waso say a buying and share now on privatize the collection side of ECG say na be to me AGGC canon na to me akoye 80 billion na da hono de SSA ECG for omutua and hon komo no e wo hono meba na ye be decide no hon komo and then he also believes so say prices in Kenya no ne bo no e wo strododo and also emwa emaniema entumi enkoye. So these two major things no forces a buying share na betimi ya omwa na entumi enye ansana mene Ziga ebe twice, 11 minutes into a 9 a.m. Let me do small politics and then come back with this issue of a year. Honorable Afenyo Maakye, or Sanhin Afenyo Maakye, regarding the issue of a Adenta Circuit Court 9 judge and the issues in Abronye, they're causing their Benjinano. Now, Honorable Alex Afenyo Maakye Nedin Komo Wakasa Wache on also side of the bed where of course Abronye arresting no Abronye comment or a judge answer yama judge na police for them ho agime then to be na this is what Alex Afenyo Maakye had to say issues so yenti na face yen hwe no on Kessben TV and face Kessben 92.9 FM na fe yem back.
Civil remedies exist by law. Criminal prosecution is a political choice, and that is the choice this government has made. I made this point earlier in these proceedings when I started, and I return to it now because it deserves to be stated plainly and in its full legal force. Ghanaian law already provides a civil remedy for any person who genuinely believes they have been defamed. It has always been there. It exists today. The aggrieved party may approach the civil courts. They may sue. They may place their case before a judge. They may walk away with their reputation vindicated and with damages in hand. Not a single arrest is required for any of that. Not a single bail application. Not a single remand into BNI custody. The civil law achieves the stated objective, the vindication of reputation, without any of those consequences. This government knows that or ought to know that. Its lawyers know that or ought to know that. The prosecution officers know that or ought to know that by their training. And yet, case after case, the criminal route is chosen over the civil one. That choice is not a legal necessity. It is a deliberate political decision, and the purpose it serves is not the vindication of any reputation. It is the suppression of voices. When you want to protect your name, you go to the civil courts. When you want to punish and silence an opponent, you send the police. This government has made a choice, not once, not twice, but repeatedly and with the purpose. The Ghanaian people can see it exactly for what it is. Mr. Abronye posted a critical video about a judge. That is not a national security matter. It never was. This has nothing to do with the criminal justice and everything to do with political intimidation. But there is something even more alarming. I want every Ghanaian to hear this clearly. Even those who hate the guts of Abronye must at least listen to this matter. It has now been 4 days since the court pronounced the remand order. 4 days, as I understand it, on the basis of information available to the party at the time of this statement. Counsel moved up and down the courtroom, the registry, demanding for certified remand order. The court order, as at Friday, has still not been drawn. I therefore simply ask a simple question. On what legal basis did the Ghana Police Service take Abronye into custody and conveyed him to the BNI? On what legal basis did the BNI accept and held him? A remand order is not a verbal instruction. It is a formal judicial instrument. It is a written legal authority upon which the deprivation of a citizen's liberty must rest. Was a Ghanaian citizen delivered into intelligence custody or nothing more than a word of mouth? If so, that detention has no documented lawful foundation whatsoever. So I ask again, the Director General of BNI, did you receive any court order accompanying Abronye's detention? If so, can you provide a copy? If not, why did you accept him?
Okay, so Ora and as Honorable Alex Afenyo Maakye and Yete Nenka regarding the issue of Adenta Circuit Court 9 judge, and then the issue about us Adenta Circuit Court 9 maybe I mean see this idea no come look as if that Adenta Circuit Court 9 has really received a lot of these issues. I don't know why it is Adenta Circuit Court 9, but it's becoming popular when it comes to circuit courts in this country. I don't want to come out any year. Gentleman Dental Clinic Limited at the Minia Bema Ziga Bremi on Ziga Steak. 92.9 FM so Kessben TV so Kessben matching is gentlemen yin team na fe memra back.
Yamwa kwa ba the ba Gentleman Dental Clinic. Gentleman Dental Clinic so ya sim hodwuma. Komo a yebedi efa tooth replacement se osie tu na wose yebo foforo e de hye homa nya hwensunsu anso a se wosi tu no wan hye foforo a betimi e de abrɛwo de di kan enipa ese enipa ni monyam ukɔ nipa mu na wo kasa de yehwe e ye wose de ebo ama wotimi bidi e ye wose o kasa de ebo ama words bi o ha wotimi pronounce ye so e ye wose de di dwuma dia hodo bebre ndi se ese na etu a ehu behia se obeba ne ahye foforo enso e ho e de ama wo nso obi o ha ne se no na ba kusie ni ba kusie kiri enya ade a ehye nkwan Gentleman dey train South Africa na mo bra nyenye ese ne foforo emfa nhye ho so emfa ma wo afen so nipa osimo wanuma eboa ema obon no ekipi in good shape so we situ no one replacement sa side of the bone ebetimi atum amana yi anase ebetimi ebuobum se na ya yeta aka no amana yi maintenance masa ha no ento to na mo bra se ese na atu no ye hye foforo e wo ho mfa ma ese no ba ye mu ahodo bebre ye we ese no ba ko e hye wa obetimi yi wa de wa ho no wasa hye na de ba kwa wa bonten se nipa do na agiri se de wo sha obetimi yi ntimi fa didi enye sa na tie ye ma wa obetimi de didi obetimi de akasa obetimi adwuma dia wo bia wo didi bia no ye mu ahodo mienu ye wo flexible one ye ta fa ne back class no e na afa ye wo acrylic e na afa ye wo de hye wa untimi emfa won san ka bi ma na se untu bi eno so e fixed prosthesis eno so tu ana mo ba Gentleman Dental Clinic ye be ye enso de amount ye mu ahodo mienu ye wo PFM ana se porcelain fused to metal and our face your back on so a FN implant and maintenance fee to an amount that gentleman say we see no to one the Gentleman Dental Clinic ye be wow near restore or smile on back to send na e tell her Gentleman Dental Clinic ya cheap one ya kan kra Ghana ha fan na Gentleman Dental Clinic e wo o he wo Accra Gentleman Dental Clinic 2 branches e wo Accra the first one e wo Nungwa right after Nungwa Senior High School odu ani check Kantamanto no nsaben ku so pe Gentleman Dental Clinic branch e wo ha any NDC office no anase Italian pub ene bi animhwe e wo Nungwa afen so atomic down do me kwabenya wan about odu ani che taifa no nsaben ku so pe Gentleman Dental Clinic branch ba ko so ha ye di edwuma die wo ho afen so santeman tamu kumase o he ya Abepo junction total filling station no echi wo pe odu ani HG no unsani fa so wo pe ye ne Methodist school ne wa Abepo junction no ene di animhwe afen so kumase ho he ya Atonsu high school junction traffic light na se wa pe Gentleman Dental Clinic bank ba go so e wo ha ye di edwuma di e wo ho kofo bi aso he Gentleman Dental Clinic ye wo central police station no enche mu ha pe ye ne central market no e di animhwe ye di edwuma di wo abonsan e wo central police station enche ho na takra den so o he Gentleman Dental Clinic ye branch na pipe no traffic light Tadisco junction ho enka ne bebi ana GM bank e wo no sa abonsan ko na mu na Gentleman Dental Clinic ye wo ha ye di edwuma di aflawo so Gentleman Dental Clinic e wo Ecobank story building na Ecobank e wo ase no esoro pe na wo he Gentleman da obehu ye e wo aflawo afeodu ani kochiem e wo techima no so abono mantemu Gentleman Dental Clinic e wo Mazi Road enkom hotel achiwa pe ni AY Ahmed e bi anhwe e wo techima afeso ese mantemu so ye wo Tamale Gentleman Dental Clinic branch e wo Tamale Tishigu yani post office no ene di anhwe anase adjacent the MT main office na ye di enjuma di e wo honom ti Ghana ha fa na nyina de Gentleman branches no afeti Ghana ha nyina utu ana mo ba ye be hwew ne aboa na osere na okasa so akoyi e di ama se wo he uti nyina se a ye numbers ni egu ase no betima frɛ Gentleman Dental Clinic e wo sa homa to for you so 054-990-6588 ofra doctor ebeje oso se inquiries no make ebeje oso ni aboa na so sere no kasa so akoyi di ama Gentleman, it's time for you to smile again.
Yeah, that's it, gentlemen. For that's ye pass some of the buyer. So there's a quick one in front of me right now. Ziga, morning. Bibi aboko there. Okay. Yes, unia bema adai brobe ewo ejura.
Yes.
Na say bridge be ebu.
He just told me about.
Oh, okay. So I just want to pick him on and then let's come back to you right now on that. Adai morning bibi aboko there.
Hello, nagoba do me aboko so nyaboko no pay.
Bo me nkomo e dey na esi we dress is here.
Hello me da say. Me Kumasi Mampo Adwa Road. Unze ye kwan kase pa wa Ghana ha. Business road kase pa na ko bi wo kwan so fa na tata so. Ai su kase bi wo fa tata.
Okay.
Memeka 1796 the rolling farm na kwa intervention for ye Kumasi kwesi ye na mo bridge bi e wo hono. The last time mo ye bridge no be by this time. So so no ma kwan no e ya se bi ebugum no. The year 2023 ana odukura wo kroma na napia the boy Kessben for abati ma ebe years akwa adwuma e ma nya national attention me kai the then regional minister yes amo semen samampo MC the road minister mun na ba ebe share sa akwa kwaje ye ja kwa to 2024 election through ho can inform contractor e ba de na do gu ata se wo ye adwuma e to ba wie ye sa ni na free ha last year kwan no fa ebugumu me kai abesa stay ko be tumi ni pe ewu ewo ha no say na number 15 say jabadi ahwe wa ha na sakotwa de twantum kwa na ma akofa we nya ba kwan se kwan na sane ne nso kete bi toye na no nso kete bi ta toye ama kwan na gogu bi ka krebi na ka efa so na bu ama kwan na si am no ka say de ka nko ka ma na Monday adwa market eno aye ji amanfo ekodwa mo eba mo ko nyina mo na ka eche mo ne ma ka eche eno so ma mamlanti mo ko mo ama so mo so na mo de fitri mo de ba be fitri no ma jiska mo to na mo de twa mo de 20 cities eno enso ebo de fonica the next route between the akọ and ka 45 minutes be to mampon e de adura okofa take you about 1.5 hours mo asan mampon ko fia stage na su se ma se sama baba be ski eno so kwan sanya papa Ghana mpani fa ya nhwe ha tena ho saa makwati abu ageguma makwan na ski ama le nipa ntimi nko obi ma na mkoto na ma wa adura in fact ebi da fo mo nsu ma na kwa ba fa wo se
ba jo fm efie bruni
bi na okoton
ko tonto si ni meko ma to tonto si ni meko beble ahomachima bedu ekwa ya chi no nan da so te ho ene ma yi sei yenya kwa ifa nko se so obi adum ye de atwa ama ye so yenya ka won du twa kura ene ma ba ko bi om di 50 cedis asa no won du atwa ba so na ja ka ekwa nye se ya che ese ya che papa na se kura ka ka sie bi abetom mplenu ama ni pe bi so awu ofo bi ba mampon hyiamu wo bo be wu wa ha se ni nyina wo mo ahwe anya ekwai efie nanye ekwai na mfasa na anu su kasi eto ye de ekwa na se dwobe ekwa no ase dwobe ama nipa egu enso ye gane enso ye chini nya asem koto akwa
no so ton de
ni ba to me ton me ko ni nya do ane ne ma akwa kwan so ko fa me ko ni nya do ane ne ma ebeju ekwa ye ti ahomachi no me nsa ne fa enso nti tamwa ma afre na police for buy mbebu be bia menso na timi atwa ya ne ma so mu di twa mo fa ko bi o mu di 50 ama se kwa wo ya se ka sia ka bi egu ko ye ti eni ni pa ye gu ano enya se mkuto ama se ne ye gadie ye sika nyina na be boka ye timi nya
so it's a market the biggest market in the region no business ebe from yepa because nipa e ko no swati nipa ni bia san o ma chi o ma san back to Kumasi ne kan ne mampon again 80 enkoso e wa hanin say nipa no man in fact awe ho the honorable MC honorable Yusuf Yakubu abaha ne police ma Central North Regional Police Command fire service and for ha omo sha emergency control bi sabe on betimi aye sabe ya be but e kan say obi ya ti ya wa dwa ye ti enko mo amatia Kojo be den the power so ni ta from for so yi pa security bi ti ya na say police from for ti ya ni kwa so mo ko be say the Central Regional Minister we are from Tamako Hene I am for this year and the road minister we are coming over here. The 24 hours we immediate the year so mo fe no tu won amount the betimi aboa Nenkofa Resident KPD answer.
But I say Nana Dai Brobenia no 18 komo e wo ye trust you so hwese wo TV no so na face so wo Facebook no you could tell you hu ye bridge no ka ho asem ebubu kra de we say ne de ensem fata kra but we so e wo homa ye ziga isan say ye say ne anya any sotum polling station of the MPP fight be akoso e wo hono mo a I need a comment from Ziga on this one. Fight pa. Yes, I course one pa so two more here. I know what in here pa. Yeah, here, near so your radio so yinti na fi yamra back.
Kessben 92.9. That's
we a polling station election no hun tokwa abano no. Over to you. You be can jolate. Be aboko there. Me name say utimi kwa sorry there because Saturday no one pontem.
Yes.
But oda late pa, oda no pa.
Yes,
oda no pa. Oda no pa.
Because second service.
Okay. Kodi na time na abona wo de to ho na wo de fans na wo chichi na.
But etimenya basa dia. I switch off everything na manya go sleep.
Na wo chi na ade ntina me catch omo so mo ntwa bobo mi din ade.
You guys, you can cry, you can yes.
Why ain't you wada?
When did Adumaku Kisine Dr. Tobin Hontokwa?
Okay.
Because Dr. Adumaki Kisibesaba. You understand? So no ntokwa ne ye you free winning no na akofa but you better trust me can ye because of time factor and can be kumpa because my constituency no na yi afenyo marking press conference now yes mame kasim we see appear stadium so with the program crowd appear stadium say of President Mahama no say papa I didn't know my appointment. My bro wo ho, my nanti wo ho, ye di matem wo ho. My bra fight ya mo asa be president. Obi enu wa ye adwuma se me. I didn't know my appointment. Was say President Mahama catch ni say, apia. Enye se mi ntimi ma appointment. Ene nese bia we status no mi nya baabi ma won kwosha. E fetu status na e bia untimi nya ho yi. Nemum se manye careful na me ma appointment the way am do no wan hwe ya daachi mini ho a na se party for bar on be harass even my own party enkofo empewa sem de wo ye mame no wo mu hu ehu ahinti no on betime de attack you understand? I have come to realize that the reason why Senator Rollins ebia President Mahama mpese obema na appointment no it's not because we deprive no, not because office says senator hasn't ripe enough to ascend to any ministerial position, but me free say or protect senator. Say one shey na me de appointment commander. The next government be abet me akoshwe e de ade beba betetare no ho so de bichi. I'm an presidential ambition now, so let me protect him. Sometimes we have to understand them. So you see, I think that President Mahama should apply the same thing. Now, one share how and normal is say what is happening in the system. When you careful, the resetting agenda, the sublime performance awaye, economy ni baby ababe do and conform bonabasuno. Obe jai no oba kwa kwatena fie no. Afei se no manya he will push some NDC TNU innocent NDC people to the hands of Abina assassin for them to be harassed for nothing. That's what I see this. Because oba kwa kwatena fie. O kwatena fie ye be harassing and this nibia e bi kwa de ekoso no won pe so de bi chi de ekoso sisi e bi kwa no won pe but they will harass them, try to equate what is happening today. Say ekobasa no it will take something out of the performance our performance is here. So I think that SSL step up in the game when it comes to security. The American watch say yes, because political persecution it is clear. Say some of the allegations are urban. It be a frivolous. Charges here, the charge or more do court. It be a frivolous. Because you can't near sad or maba. You can't know a sad or maba. It be on my 7 previous. Why would you say any 9? So it is either President Mahama is not aware of what is going on, and if he's aware, I think that as I said, or call the Numikakra. Because I see say apart from say frivolous, and sanya justice, and sanya is like I say you discriminating fairness in your office. Banahene, Koko Usu Banahene, presidential staffer. As sama watina Angel FM ka say NPP for na de asset akwakogu aeroplane say aeroplane no enkohwe fam eho no man say na enkohwe fam kunkum NDC for what is the difference between asama Kofi ayi Ousuba na hene kai no and the fancy comedy kai? What's the difference? Then ono de yan friend na man ankokyere say NPP ni kro no de make right say Madam Mary Awuzi a free zone. He sat on television and radio, and she said that look, the control system now what akosombona ejakotomuno and NPP for the engineer. We are looking for the people that did that because there were a lot of suspicions. Saying confirm person do soba. It is okay say NPP for you might know be a winning and conphobia or more NPP one yes Adam. And then the national security did not invite the woman to go and show at Sir NPP forum, but already were found ready. That's what I'm saying, that President Mahama should be very careful because the American, it is too different from what Hobson Adoye said, and it landed him to court. Say NPP for control dynamite and will vote region. You understand? And a man confirmed Pianco control about 2016 and 2020. And landed to court. Nana Dankwah, a young boy communication top radio. Or say Rollins na fie. That's not different from this. Say Madame Bereuzi Beka say NPP for na engineers adding or the other hold them and nam hold it. But yet Chinana Dankwah, yet she hopes na doye. We are not fair to this. You understand? So I think that the fairness, it is very important. If say ye be ye dia ye nyeni na dia make an what I say na yes sanitize ye airwaves no, it shouldn't be targeted and cophobia kwa dia make an what I say. Now listen to me. Ora afenyo Maakye the press conference now here. Yes, if you read article 21 a guarantee fundamental freedom of speech and the correct 80 he has the right to do the press conference. Say, that's fantastic. Well, lay down the reason why Abronya shouldn't have been arrested and ordered. That's fine. Article 21 a guarantee fundamental freedom of speech. Now, if you read the Constitution, the Article 11 of the same Constitution talks about the laws of Ghana. Emra Ghana Yejitum talks about the Constitution, the Act of Parliament, the common law and the customary law. Now, if you read the Act of Parliament, one of the Act of Parliament is the Act 29, the Criminal and Offences Act. You get me? The Criminal Offences Act, Section 208, clearly stated, who say, though the Article 21 gives us the fundamental freedom of speech, but freedom of speech has its own limits. the make what I say freedom of speech no e won limit ebia na woni radio so woni television so the make what I say ebia wo ya ankrankra ubetimi akasem bia ebetimi aladu to trouble but in order say omo tuti radio so be very careful. That is why the FN say the communication whatever act no is also there to guide us the way we talk. I was expecting a Maakye after this press conference no and live obesa organize a communication orientation for some of the NPP people. Yes, the NPP today they need orientation. They need orientation because there are some people where they want the popularity capital. Oh, many a chime no. Mena beer na for the handcuff gumisano because of the party. No ababa GD. Today, we be at the radio so no card your pet. Jamaican what I say. NPP ntisa New Patriotic Party no ane anim no ntisa from 96 equals to 2000. That is not how people Tazamu communicate here. It sent NPDC to opposition from 2009 to 2016. And yes sir and then for communicate here the NDC eco opposition. Please, some of the NPP, and I say NPP today, the communication directorate, some of them need orientation. Because how come say a party chairman can sit on radio, then you accuse the president is one of the bad? Who vote for you? A party chairman, a regional chairman. You sit on radio, you tell the whole world, say president in the bad or in the made that. Is this supposed to be a communication? Kojo Preko Dankwah intellectual communication. Bank of Ghana Boka intellectual communication, but the elite people are listening. Obeti say Maakye Oye Koko communication. The whole Ghana applauding him. Can't we see Richard Ahiaba? Look at the communication. These people are Obodi Maya. I saw you do a land communication. Powerful communication. So when the Bible say, it's your phenomenon. We are now your orientation, the Mahomo. We don't talk like that. And yes, they pay power.
Okay.
Say, what one wako catch a presidential staffer? Abronye told Madam Joyce Bauer, say, Joyce Bauer, your man appointment, ministerial appointment, but or rejecting ministerial appointment just to become a presidential staffer. Say the beya, ombre wedi presidential staffer, just ombre, Jamaica Rata say, a month, your man is a 95,000 Ghana cedis a month salary. You don't have a proof.
92.9.
You don't have proof. No what you call quarter. No court to the Korea denta. No Korea now by. It is supposed to be a communication. Send your communication. Lies, you find your communication.
All right.
Intimidation, you find your communication.
Okay.
And so you find your communication.
Okay.
We know communicators. Speak well.
Okay.
Outline your plans.
Okay.
Your agenda. Abine ya dian koso yenka wasam. And the IMF see say so a dia dio yenim and no a whole debate and ye here. The American what I say and no me koso who electricity asem. Yet ye electricity kwa na ekosoro and the thing economy na do this level na electricity koso. These are some of the things that you get opportunity to be on radio and television, talk about it. Right. And your wide delegation, and your very unsubstantiated, your very remarks. Okay. All these things that you cannot substantiate, you don't have evidence. Nobody drive the person. Right. Then you reduce the popularity of the party you destroy the face of the party because conforna you need almost some good communication no by old no. The generation they be replace them, they are too desperate. They always want a popularity capital and all that. It wouldn't help the party.
Okay.
They need orientation.
All right. But as is any turn in Kanama Council the 6th annual Minister of the Year Awards, and also on the 6th of June 2026, and more crown the best and the most performed minister at La Palm Royal Beach Convention Center coming on the 6th of June 2026. And into them, while person reserve a table no for numbers with 0243 33 2726 0243 332726. Now we need paying for ND and Komo awarding the best minister of the year. I know who Komo in a coso a year media sponsors Kessben 92.9 FM. So I can who be so Pedro Papa ato na face no aboama a blood related diseases bit is high blood pressure, high blood sugar na face chronic wounds, hepatitis B and C, HIV kidney infections na face liver infections, also prostate enlargement and after your bad breath, menstrual pain, chronic cough, asthma, chest pains, and after arthritis, swelling faces, and after feet, pandia, patch 1374, and a win here T74, and a win here a baby beer, pharmacy, herbal shops, and then baby beer when Sabeke be driving friendly 3232 is so share 3, a drone, a tick by a tino. Now the gum no more bobo bibia betumi akuyama no if you diagnose cable industry for her and bafromo on 0246 073 498 0246 073 498 and after 050 162 28931 050 162 8931. Now ne paying for ending come from diagnostic cable industry na omo eno enka edrono ho asem.
Thank you very much.
And then a happy birthday to Victoria Ashite on a UN mission. This one is from Mayor Dr. King. Happy birthday to you, Victoria. Happy birthday to you. And then a happy birthday to Miss Nana Ajwa Asante. This one is from Ma Ajwa. Happy birthday to you. And then a happy birthday to Shandoff Kusi Ejeyeboa. Happy birthday to you, Shandoff. And then a happy birthday to James Kweku Mensa manager Enivoro Cosmetics. Happy birthday. And then a happy birthday to the main Nana Benin Khan Butchie of a Kitty Petals Montessori School in Achimota. Happy birthday to you. And then a happy birthday to Eric Momo Anan. Happy birthday to you, Abigail. And then a happy birthday to Nana Kwesi Owoye in Kranza. This one from Gloria, your friend. Happy birthday to you. And then a happy birthday to Madame Comfort Brinya. This one is from James Atabedu PBL. Happy birthday to you. And I'm Liju Mediano Ebesie. And I'm living in the house of the good man. Coming back from the weekend. Made for action is next. So the man Jolaka. And then a pump for you know Betanase. But I'm heavily produced by Richard Piazza Fifi Addison. Abdella on technical. And I say Andy. And I say Amos Lai Danny. And a quick one with the Munina. We are back again tomorrow Tuesday. God willing, we'll be here. My son for Kojo Preko Dankwah. Catch us about 2 p.m. We'll see you 4 p.m. Radio Kasabetwaso. And then the Kessben Drive was also Mr. Fox Veterans. And then the captain of all captains, Mr. Traffic Man. Those veterans with the traffic jam at 7 to 10 p.m. On here, not humble lion. Have a blessed day. My name is has always been Kojo Preko Dankwah. Have a wonderful morning. Bye.
Yeah, me say me no fever. Oh, fever. Yes, it's so cold, no matter. It's in the summer, it's so chill, no matter. Baby say no, 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 she should anti-check, give me a design, no matter. What is it, Jama? What is it, baby? Now I'm into it. Mama, what is it?